Do you ever feel like you must be loving your cat the right way because you give them good food, buy cute toys, and pet them every day? It sounds right. It sounds loving. But the truth is, many cats live in homes filled with affection and still do not feel completely safe. Not because their owners do not care, but because we often care for cats in ways that feel loving to us, instead of in ways that truly feel right to them. According to feline welfare guidelines from AAFP and ISFM, stress in cats often begins when small but essential needs in their environment and daily interactions are overlooked. In this video, we are going to explore 7 things cats truly love that many owners still miss without realizing it. Some of them are so small, they cost almost nothing. Yet they can make your cat feel calmer, trust you more, and choose to stay closer to you. And by the end, you may realize something surprisingly emotional. What your cat values most is not being spoiled more. It is being treated in a way that makes them feel safe. Maybe you have seen this before. Your cat is lying beside you one moment, then quietly walks away the next. You are petting them, and everything seems fine, until suddenly their body stiffens or their tail flicks with annoyance. Sometimes they just look at you, then choose a spot a little farther away, as if they want your company, but only from a distance. That does not always mean your cat is distant, moody, or hard to please. Very often, it means something much simpler. Your cat is responding to the moment the only way they know how. They are telling you that something feels too much, too fast, too loud, or just not quite right for them. And because cats speak through space, timing, body language, and routine, those messages are easy to miss if you are only looking for affection in the human sense. That is what makes this so important. Once you understand the 7 things we are about to cover, you may notice a real shift in your relationship with your cat. Not because you suddenly become more devoted, and not because you spend more money, but because you begin meeting needs your cat has been quietly showing you all along. And when a cat feels understood, trust starts to grow in a much deeper way. First, cats love a home that feels stable and easy to understand. A lot of owners assume that if their cat has a nice bed, a good food bowl, and a clean litter box, then everything should be fine. But for a cat, comfort is not just about having enough things. It is about knowing where things are, what happens next, and whether the world around them still makes sense. That is why even small changes can affect a cat more than people expect. Move the litter box to a different corner. Put the food bowl in a new spot. Bring a strong new scent into the room. Change the household routine too suddenly. To us, these may feel like tiny details. To a cat, they can feel like the rules of the home have shifted without warning. And when a cat cannot easily predict their environment, they often become more watchful, more hesitant, less relaxed in the places where they used to rest without thinking. This is one reason feline welfare guidelines emphasize a well-organized living space where essential resources like food, rest areas, scratching spots, and litter boxes are placed in ways that help reduce stress instead of adding to it. In other words, your cat is not asking for a perfect house. They are asking for a house that feels familiar. That familiar feeling matters more than many people realize. It is what allows a cat to let their guard down, to nap deeply, to walk through a room without checking every sound, to trust that their needs will still be met in the same safe places they knew yesterday. So the lesson here is simple. Do not focus only on giving your cat more. Focus on making daily life feel steady, clear, and comfortable. Because for a cat, consistency is not boring. Consistency is safety. Second, cats love having a private place to retreat when they need it. Even in a loving home, A cat does not want to be visible all the time. Sometimes they want to rest without being watched. Sometimes they want to observe without being approached. Sometimes they simply need a quiet place where nothing is expected of them. This is why so many cats slip into cardboard boxes, disappear under the bed, or tuck themselves into the back of a closet. To people, that can look like shyness or distance. But for a cat, hiding is often not a sign that something is wrong. It is a way of returning to balance. Cats are naturally both curious and cautious. They like to know what is happening around them, but they also need control over how exposed they feel while taking it in. A private hiding place gives them that control. It lets them lower stimulation without leaving the space entirely. They can still listen, still watch, still decide when they are ready to come back out. That is why quiet shelter matters so much, especially when the house feels busier than usual. Guests come over. A child gets excited. A loud appliance turns on. Even too much loving attention can become overwhelming if a cat has nowhere to step away and breathe in their own way. Research on cats in shelter settings has shown that access to appropriate hiding spaces can help lower long-term stress. That matters because it reminds us of something simple but powerful. When a cat hides, they are not being dramatic. They are trying to feel safe again. So instead of pulling your cat out and insisting they join the moment, give them a retreat that truly belongs to them. A clean box in a quiet corner, a covered chair, a high shelf no one disturbs. Sometimes the kindest thing you can offer your cat is not closeness. It is the freedom to come back on their own. Third, cats love being touched in the right place and at the right time. A lot of people think that if a cat lets you pet them once, that means they want more and more. But cats do not experience touch the way humans often imagine. For them, petting is not always a simple sign of affection. It is part of a conversation. And like any conversation, it can go well, become too much, or end sooner than you expect. That is why many cats prefer being touched around the cheeks, under the chin, near the forehead, and along the areas where they naturally rub their scent. These spots often feel safer and more familiar to them. But areas like the belly, the lower back, or the tail can be far more sensitive. Even a cat that seems relaxed can suddenly tense up if your hand stays too long or moves into a place they did not invite you to touch. This is where many owners misunderstand their cats. A purr does not always mean keep going. Sometimes a cat is enjoying the moment at first, then slowly becoming overstimulated. The signs are often subtle before they become obvious. The tail starts twitching. The skin ripples. The ears shift. The body stops leaning in and starts holding still. Then comes the small bite, the paw, or the quick turn away that seems to surprise the person more than the cat. But to the cat, it was not sudden at all. They had been answering you the whole time. So when you pet your cat, think of it less like giving affection and more like listening with your hands. Start where most cats tend to feel comfortable. Go slowly. Watch what happens next. If your cat leans in, rubs against you, or stays soft through the body, that is often a good sign. If the body tightens or the tail starts speaking for them, respect that answer. Because what many cats love most is not endless petting. It is the feeling that you noticed when enough was enough. If this is helping you see your cat in a new way, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Because near the end, we are going to talk about the one thing that often shapes trust more deeply than most owners ever realize. Fourth, cats love play that lets them feel like real hunters. This is where many loving owners get confused. They fill the house with toys, little balls, soft mice, crinkly things, even expensive gadgets, and still their cat seems bored after a few minutes. The reason is simple. Most cats are not looking for entertainment in the human sense. They are looking for the feeling of the hunt. A toy lying still on the floor does not ask much from a cat. But something that darts away, disappears behind a chair, pauses, then suddenly moves again can awaken a completely different part of them. Their eyes lock in, their body lowers, their steps become careful. Their whole attention gathers into one small moment. That sequence matters. Cats are built for stalking, chasing, pouncing, and catching. When play follows that natural rhythm, it does more than keep them busy. It gives shape to an instinct that would otherwise have nowhere to go. Without that outlet, some cats become restless, some become frustrated, some sleep more but seem less satisfied, and some start creating their own excitement by knocking things over, attacking feet, or racing through the house at odd hours. That is why a simple wand toy can be more meaningful than a pile of expensive objects. In your hand, it becomes something alive. It can hide, it can hesitate, it can escape at the last second. And when you move it in a way that feels unpredictable but possible to catch, your cat is no longer just playing. They are doing something their body and mind were made to do. The best play sessions usually last only 10 to 15 minutes, but they should feel complete. Let the toy appear, vanish, slow down, and burst forward again. Let your cat track it, miss it, follow it, and finally catch it. That final catch is important. Without it, the game can feel unfinished. Because to a cat, play is not just fun. It is relief. It is focus. It is confidence. It is one of the few moments in indoor life where the world makes perfect sense to their instincts. Fifth, cats love the gentle messages your face can send. People often assume that connection with a cat comes mostly through touch or through the sound of your voice. But cats are also paying close attention to something quieter than that. They notice tension. They notice stillness. They notice whether your face feels soft and safe or focused and intense. That is why the slow blink matters so much. Research in 2020 suggested that cats respond more positively when humans give them a slow, relaxed blink instead of a neutral stare. And when you think about it from a cat's point of view, that makes perfect sense. A hard stare can feel direct and uncomfortable. But softened eyes send a very different message. They say, there is no threat here, no pressure, no need to be on guard. What makes this so beautiful is how small it is. You do not have to pick your cat up. You do not have to call them over. You do not even have to touch them. Sometimes all you have to do is meet their eyes for a moment, soften your expression, blink slowly, and let the moment stay calm. If your cat blinks back, looks softer, or stays where they are instead of leaving, that can be a quiet sign that they understood you. And in a way, that is what many cats seem to love most. Not big displays, not constant attention, just the feeling that they can be near you without being pressured by you. So the next time your cat looks at you from across the room, do not rush to fill the silence. Let your face say something gentle first. Sometimes trust begins in moments so small that only a cat would notice them. Sixth, cats love clean water in the right places far more than most people realize. A lot of owners assume that if there is a water bowl somewhere in the house, that should be enough. But cats can be surprisingly particular about where they drink, how often they drink, and whether that water feels fresh and inviting to them. This is one reason placement matters so much. When water is kept right next to food, some cats seem less interested in it. When it is too close to the litter box, the space may not feel pleasant or clean enough. And when there is only one water source in one fixed spot, a cat may simply pass by it more often than we think, especially if it is in a busy area or somewhere they do not fully relax. Cats also tend to drink less than many people expect in the first place. So even a small increase in comfort or convenience can make a real difference over time. A quiet bowl in a calm corner. Another one in a room where your cat already likes to rest. Fresh water changed often. Sometimes even the shape of the bowl matters, because some cats dislike when their whiskers brush the sides while they drink. That is why this is not really just about water. It is about making hydration feel easy, safe, and natural. A cat should not have to choose between drinking and feeling comfortable. The more your home offers clean, quiet, easy-to-reach water in places that make sense to your cat, the more likely they are to drink without stress or hesitation. And that matters more than it seems, because sometimes the smallest act of care is not the one that looks impressive. It is the one your cat quietly benefits from every single day. Seventh, and maybe most importantly, cats love feeling that affection is still their choice. This is where trust becomes something deeper than comfort. People love by reaching out. We call our cats over. We lift them. We hold them a little longer. We ask for one more cuddle because the moment feels sweet to us. And most of the time, we mean well. But for a cat, love feels safest when it does not come with pressure. What many cats seem to value most is the freedom to decide. The freedom to come closer when they want connection. The freedom to stay nearby without being touched. The freedom to walk away without being followed, pulled back, or made to feel guilty for ending the moment. That choice changes everything. Because when a cat learns that being near you does not trap them, they begin to relax in a different way. They stay longer. They return more often. They show affection more openly. Not because they were forced to become more loving, but because they discovered that love with you feels safe. And this is why two cats can love their people deeply, in completely different ways. One may curl up on your chest every night. Another may sit at the end of the couch and blink at you from a distance. Another may follow you from room to room, but never enjoy being picked up. None of those cats are loving less. They are simply loving in the way that feels honest to them. So the final lesson is simple. Let your cat come to you. Let your cat leave. Let your cat decide when a moment has been enough. Sometimes the strongest bond is built not by holding on, but by making it easy for the other heart to stay. And when you look back at all 7 of these things, a beautiful pattern starts to appear. Cats do not need a life full of constant stimulation or endless pampering. They need steadiness. They need a quiet place to retreat. They need touch that respects their limits. They need play that speaks to their instincts. They need soft signals that tell them your presence is safe. They need water placed where comfort lives. And above all, they need to feel that love does not take away their control. Maybe that is the part so many people miss. What makes a cat bond with you most deeply is often not how much you give, but how well you understand what being safe feels like from their side. So now I want to ask you something. Out of these 7 things, how many do you think your cat is already getting from you? And which one surprised you the most? Tell me in the comments. I would really love to hear your story. And if you want to understand your cat on a deeper level, so that even the smallest everyday moments can bring the two of you closer, subscribe to the channel and stay with us for the next video.